So let's talk while I finish taking out all this jewelry. Okay, so today I came home from work, of course, and my neighbor was like outside, so we started having a conversation. And so I've been planning on doing a video for like a while, well, a really long time. I planned on starting with my channel really long time ago, but now it's finally hopefully gonna happen. We'll see. But anyways, I was having a conversation with him, and we were just talking about life and America and all the good stuff, all the things that you're supposedly, quote unquote, not supposed to talk about, in our taboo society. So we started talking, and I was like, oh my God, let's talk about free speech, because I am a complete and total advocate of free speech. And I mean, we have some things going on right now in society that, deal with this. So I thought, why not talk about it? Okay, so first, let's talk. We know this is a fact that the right to freedom of speech is in our Constitution. It is like it's like a First Amendment right. We're all aware of this. Yay. Okay. And then it goes beyond that. And then you think about it. You should be allowed to, and basically, if you ask anyone, which I'll probably upload this later, I did a piece at my school, because I do radio, about what free speech means to you and how you exercise free speech. You talk to most people, and they'll say, like, free speech means basically I can say whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. And that is very interesting. Well, I do agree that you are allowed to say, or should be allowed to say, whatever you want. I do think common sense and logic would dictate that there are appropriate times to say what it is that you feel you need to say. Like the whole idea that you're not supposed to yell fire in a theater or bomb in an airport. Like, I don't understand why you would do that in the first place, but there are people that will do it. Those things don't make sense to me. But I think even in the aspect of just having a conversation with somebody, yes, you're allowed to say whatever it is that you want to say, but you also have to be open to being critiqued for what you say. And I think that's a step that we don't ever really think about. I think we just think, I'm allowed to say whatever it is that I want to say, and that's it. And that's not okay, because there are consequences, just like there are consequences with your actions, there are consequences to what you say. Like, you think about it, like, now we live in a digital age where you can basically say and do whatever you want, and you can upload it to, like, media, and then it's out there for the whole world to see, and people get really upset when people start criticizing them or pointing out certain things. Like, same thing with talk radio, because in essence, I think when you are talking and you're really being honest and saying what you feel and what you think, people are not going to agree with you. And I think you have to be open to what it is that people are saying back to you. You can't just arbitrarily decide that what you say is law, because I grew up, with my mom and dad, and they taught me that everybody has their own truth. And that even though I was growing up with them, my truth was still not going to be their truth. And my truth was going to be different than my brother's truth. And my grandma's truth was going to be like, we all have our own truth, because we all have to take in what is given to us, the facts, and other people's views. We all have to take that in and decide what it is that we choose to believe and stuff like that. So it's not concrete. And I think we like to think that free speech is the ability to just be and say, and that's not really the case. You can say whatever you want. I believe that you should be able to say whatever you want, but that also means that everybody else can say what they want. It's not like certain people get free speech and other people don't. And I think, we live in a society where we do kind of like, I should be allowed to say whatever I want, but I don't want other people to be able to say what they want. because we do have that. When you are able to do that, you are going to have some form of backlash because people are not going to agree with you. One thing that I will say is, we have gone beyond just being able to say what it is that we want. We have this whole debate now about the Confederate flag. And let me just say, I have no problem with people flying the Confederate flag. You want to fly that flag? Go right ahead. If that's your state flag, go ahead and fly it. If you want to keep that flag in your house, go ahead, fly it. I don't think that it's that I have a say in what it is that you're doing. As for it being flown on federal land, I think in the South it's really a part of their history. So I don't. So I'm not. I don't. I don't feel like. And I feel like if it hasn't bothered anybody, has it really bothered people this long? Is another thing. Like, I don't know if it really bothered people has it, ever since, has it bothered people every single time that it was flying, this whole time? Nobody thought this would be a good idea earlier, or when, the Civil War was over, let's not fly this flag, I just wonder if it's just, something that we're just doing to do it rather than actually being a problem. Or was it just people didn't feel comfortable saying that I have a problem with this flag flying? I think that should be a state by state thing. I don't think that the government as a whole should be dictating, this flag can't fly in your state, on federal land. I don't think that we should do that. I think it should be a state by state basis because every state has their own history and their own flag. So I don't think that we should start being like, oh, well, you can't fly this here or you can't fly that there, and especially if it is if it's your state flag and that's the only other flag you have. I of course have the California state flag, and then we have the American flag, and if that's your state flag, if the Confederate flag is your state flag, I don't see a problem with it. I understand that they, everybody's like, oh, they're the losing side. Why would you fly a loser's flag? I think that it's a part of your history. Why, it's just a part of what built that place. And while I don't agree in the sense of it standing for slavery, because I do not condone that whatsoever, I do think that if this is something that is a part of these people in that state and a part of their history, I don't think that it's something that should be forgotten or brushed under the rug, because it doesn't change. Taking that flag down doesn't change what happened. What happened is what happened, and now we are where we are today. Taking that flag down is just it's just a meaningless act because it doesn't change the hearts and minds of people. Every act you do to stop something, in my opinion, that doesn't involve changing somebody's mind or changing somebody's heart or making somebody recognize something that they weren't seeing before in regards to their behavior or what they were saying is a waste of your time. I don't think that you should force people to be right. I don't think taking this flag down is suddenly going to end racism. That's not the way it works. You can just, if you really, that's not the way it works. Racism is something that is very hard to control and evolves more quickly and in different ways that we can't get a handle on it, and we're constantly having to find new ways and constantly keep rooting it out. I don't think that this I don't think it's a step in the right direction. I don't think it's a step in the wrong direction. I think it's just we're still where we were. I don't think it's making any major changes, in my opinion. I don't think that this is, like I said, I don't think this is majorly going to make things better, and I don't think it's majorly going to make things worse. I think maybe, depending on who you are, it might make things worse. If you think about, the people who think, all of a sudden whites are under attack, or whatever. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it might have some impact on them, but to me, it does nothing either way. But yeah, I do, but in regards to free speech, that's a little, like, we went off on a little tangent there. But in regards to free speech, I think you should be allowed to say what it is that you want to say, but equally someone else should be allowed to say what they have to say regardless of whether they agree or disagree with you. Because I think that is what is going to lead us into being a more educated populace, is the fact that we are critiquing each other. So we're constantly being like, did you think about this? Why is it, how can you believe that when blah, 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 blah? You're forcing people to think and justify their reasoning and why it is that they believe what they believe. And that, to me, is the most valuable thing that freedom of speech has given us. And I think that freedom of speech also goes to in the form of symbolic speech. I think there are ways you can exercise your free speech that isn't necessarily verbal. I don't agree with people doing things like the people who are shitting on the flag. I think that is completely and utterly disrespectful to the country that you come from. I think that if that's how you feel, and if you really feel like you should be arrested. Like, I don't even know, as a American citizen, just leave. Like, goodbye. Like, who are you? What are you doing here? Please leave. In my opinion, that's where my brain is. Like, please leave. I don't care who you are. I don't care why you're here. You just need to leave. And I believe the woman who started this said that, like, she doesn't want to be here anymore, then leave. But what she's expecting, she wants her reparations. 40 acres and a mule. Okay, that was years ago. Honey, you are not getting 40 acres and a mule. I don't even think they have the 40 acres to give all of us. And on top of that, are you really sure your ancestors were slaves, or are you just like, oh, my ancestors were slaves? Like, because I'm black. You want to go back to Africa. Go back to Africa. I don't know what you expect to find there, but good luck. Basically, moral of the story is freedom of speech. I think that you should have the right, but I think you also need to expect that other people also have that right to say what it is that they feel. And you have to understand that both of your opinions are on equal footing. That you're not more right and this person is more right. That you just have to be able to listen to each other and come and at some point, come to some form of, maybe one of you will change each other's minds, but also come to the consensus that maybe we just need to agree to disagree. Most valuable thing ever. Agree to disagree. See you later. Talk more.